Hello everyone. Today we'll be building interactive story creator. So what we'll be having? We'll be having a text area. We can add any number of text area. Also we'll be having add story as well as the save story. We'll be making use of the local storage to save the stories. We'll be able to add the stories that when we click on the add story, we'll get the extra text area so that we can add any number of stories. So this we'll be building with the help of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as well as we'll be making use of the local storage. So let's start by creating the HTML file. I'll just name this index.html. Also, let's create CSS file as well. I'll name this style.css. So initially what I'll do, I'll just create the very basic HTML template and change the title to interactive story creator. So this is one thing. Next step, what I'll do, I'll just link the style sheet as well as give the path and name style.css. So next, I want to make use of the TAILWIND CSS. So I'll just paste this one. Let me cut this one and paste it over here. So how to get this one? Let me open the Chrome. Let's wait for some time and search for cdnjs. So after going here, so just type for TAILWIND. So this one, just copy this one and paste it over here. So I have already pasted. Let's start writing the HTML code. Let's initially style for the body. I'll just give background, gradient to right from purple 400 via pink 500 to red 500, men H, green. Then let me make use of flex. We leave space here. Sorry. Then flex column, items center, also justify center. So this is it for the body. Next, what we'll do, I'll just consider div within the body. This is going to be the parent div, right? Let's style this div. Let me give container margin auto, padding of 4, background white, rounded, large, shadow, large, max width. Let me give 2xl. So this is it for the div. Next, let me consider h1 tag. So within h1, I'll give the same thing. I'll just copy this one, interactive story creator, and let me paste it over here. Let's style this h1. So let me give text size. Let me give 4xl. On, let me set to bold. Also, let's make the text center, margin bottom of 6. This is it for the h1. Next, let me create one more div. Let me style this, right? First, initially, let me give ID of story container. So class, I'll give space y4. So this is it for this div. So after this div, what I'll do, I'll just consider 2 buttons. So within the button, what I'll do, just give me a second. So here, let me hold the alt button. So let me style this one. Class margin top of 4 for both. px6 I'll give py of 2. Background blue 600. Text I'll make this one to white. Also rounded medium. Shadow medium. When on hover of this button, let me give the background to blue 700. When on focus, let me set the outline to none. So this is it for the styles basically. Let me change the second button. Basically here I'll come BG blue I have given, right? For the first button it will be BG blue. For the second button I'll just change this one to green. Also when on hover as well, let me give space over here. On hover also, instead of blue I'll just give green. So after this one, let me give ID of add part. This one ID of save story. So yeah, this is it for the HTML. Let me format the document once. So yeah, this is it for the HTML. Next, let's start writing the CSS. So I want to make use of the Poppins font. What I'll do, I'll just open the Chrome. Let me search for Poppins font. Get font, get embed code, import. Also, let me copy this one. Let me paste it over here. Let's style for the body. I just want to make use of font family. Let me copy this one. Close this one for now. Let me paste it over here. So the primary font will be making use of is Poppins. If something goes wrong, we'll be making use of sans serif. So next, let's style for the container. I'll just copy. Where is the container? This one, right? And just copy this one. Let me paste it over here. For the container, let me give the background linear gradient 135 degree. Let me make use of RGBA. So I'll just give 255 thrice along with 0.8 RGBA. Just give me a second. Yeah, RGBA of again 255 thrice and 0.9. So this is it for the CSS. Let me format the document once. So yeah, what I have done is I have installed an extension called live server. So let's wait for some time. Yeah, this is the one. So basically what this does is whenever we make changes in the HTML file, right? So the changes will get directly reflected in the browser so that we don't have to reload the page again and again to see the changes. So this will be very helpful. You can install it as well. What I'll do, I'll just close this one. Let me go to index.html, right click and click on open with live server. So let's wait for some time. So yeah, This is looking like this. What's wrong? And button, I didn't give the name. Let me check once again. Button, yeah, within the button I have not given the names, right? So I'll just give add story part and save story. Add story part, and here I'll give save. So now let me check. Yeah, this is looking like this. When we click on the add story, so initially a text area has to appear, and when I click on the add story part, another text area has to appear, and we should be able to post the story. And after posting the story, we should be able to save the story or delete the text within the text area. These things we'll be doing, right? These things we'll be doing with the help of JavaScript. So we'll be making use of local storage to save the story, right? So for that one, let me create the JavaScript file. Let me include the JavaScript using the JavaScript file with the help of script tag. I'll just give index.js. So let me paste it over here. What I'll do, so let's get the story container and the buttons from the down. Basically, we are getting the references to the HTML, right? How we'll do that? Let me make use of the variable name story container document dot get element by ID of story container. Where is the story container coming from? This one. ID of story container we have given within this step. Let me copy this one and paste it over here. After this one, let me make use of add part button. So let me give the same thing, document dot get element by ID or add part, right? So where is the add part coming from? This one, ID of add part we have given within the button, right? I'll just copy this one. Let me paste it over here. I'll just copy the same thing. Instead of add part button, let me give save story button. Here, this will be save story, basically. So where is the save story coming from? I'll just come here. Let me copy this. Let me paste it over here. So after this one, what we'll do, we'll write the function to fetch the story prompt from the board API. So what is board API basically? So not what is board API. We'll be making use of board API, sorry. Let's write the function to fetch the story prompt from the board API. Let me give fetch story prompt. Let's make use of async and await. So here I'll give async, and let me make use of try and catch blocks. Try variable name, let me make use of response, await of fetch. Let me type the API. Slash API activate. So this is the API. Next, we'll pass as JSON, right? For that one, I'll just give data equals await response.json. Next, let's return the activity from the API response. How do we do that? Return data dot activity. So after this, let's make use of the catch. If there is something wrong in the API, we'll be displaying the error message, right? For that one, we'll be making use of catch block. Let me make use of the console log. I'll just give error fetching story prompt. So let me give here error. So after this one, let me return initially once upon a time. So yeah, this is it for the function fetch story prompt. Next, what we'll be doing, let's write the function to add a new story part. How we'll do that? Const add story file. Let me make use of async and await. So let's create the new div for the story part. How we'll create the create any HTML element by making use of create element, right? I'll just make use of the variable name story part and let me give document dot. Let me make use of create element of div. So let's give the class name by making use of class list. Story part dot class list dot add. Let me give bg gray 100. Also padding of 4, rounded MD, shadow small, sorry, I've forgotten double inverted comma basically. So yeah, next let me give flex. After flex, let me give next column. Finally, space y. So this is it. Next, what I'll do, let's fetch the story prompt and create the paragraph element for it. How we'll do that? Let me make use of the variable name prompt. And let me make use of the await. Let's call the function fetch story prompt. Why we are calling the fetch story prompt? We'll be fetching the story prompt and creating the paragraph element for it, right? So how do we create the paragraph element? We have called the fetch story prompt here. So for creating the paragraph, this one element for that one, we'll be making use of create element again, right? So let me make use of the variable name prompt element document dot create element of paragraph. So prompt element text content. Let me set this one to prompt. So prompt element, let's add the class names. Styles using the class name, right? So I'll just give the class list dot add text small. Also let's set the text color to text gray 500. So this is it. Next, what we'll do, we'll create the text area for the user input. So here I'll come. So before this one, we need the text area to type the or to give the story part, right? So for that one, we'll be creating the text area basically for the user input. How we'll do that? Let me make use of input element variable name. Let me give document. Again, we'll be making use of create element of text area. Also, this time, let me make use of input element class list dot add. We'll be styling this one. Basically, we're making use of class list. So how we'll do that? Let me give width full 24, padding of 2, border rounded, medium, focus, outline. Sorry, here this has to be column. Focus, outline, I'll just give none. Then focus, ring, focus, border, blue, 300, right? So just give me a second. After this, so this is it. After this, what we'll do, we have to append the prompt and the input elements to the story part div. So how do we append the prompt and input elements to the story part div? So I'll just make use of append child, right? Let me give story part, append child, prompt element. Again, story part, append child, this time input element for both, right? Append the prompt and the input elements to the story part div. So this is it. Next, what we'll do, we'll append the story part div to the story container finally. So how do we do that? Story container. Again, let's make use of the append child. Finally, give the story. What we have done here, we have appended the story part div to the story container finally. So this is it for the function add story part. So finally, what we are doing, we are writing the function to save the story to the local storage. So whatever story, let me give here. So if I click on this add story part, right, here there will be this one, what do you call, text area. So whenever we write the story inside the text area, after clicking the save story, that story has to be saved in the local storage. For that one, we'll be writing the function, nothing but function to save the story to the local storage. Let me make use of the function name. Sorry, here const save story. So what I'll do, let's get all the text area elements from the story container. How I'll do, story part story container, where is rector all, text area. Let's concatenate the values of all the text areas into a single string. How do we do that? Story from story parts map but dot value. So dot join /n/n. Finally, what we'll do, next we'll be saving the story string to the local storage. How we'll do that? Let me make use of the local storage. Let's make use of the set item. Let me give story as well as let's call the story here. So what we have done, we have saved the story string to the local storage by making use of local storage dot set item. Next, what we'll do, let's give the alert. Let's alert the user basically that the story has been saved. So I'll just make use of the alert for this one, right? Directly I'll make use of the alert, and you can give anything related to story saved. I'll just give story saved. That's it. So this is it for the function save story. Next, what we'll do finally, we'll add the event listeners to the two buttons. Basically, these two buttons, we have to add the event listeners, right? Add story part as well as the save story. Nothing but in the UI, these two buttons. For these two buttons, we have to add the event listener. So what I'll do, add part button dot add event listener, click, as well as add story part function. Finally, save story button, same thing, add event listener, click, and call the function save. This is it. Finally, what we'll do, we'll add an initial story part when the page loads. Whenever we load the page, right, initially, we have to add the initial story part to show it in the UI, right? For that one, I'll be calling the function add story part. Where is this? Yeah, this one. This is it for the JavaScript. Let me format the document once. Just give me a second. Yeah. Let's check now. So here we are getting the text area. We are having the add story part and save story. So let me do one thing. Let me search for the let me go click on the first one. So here, not this one. Let me come here. I'll just give anything. So what should I do next? A crackle with anticipation. Here is the story, right? So I'll just copy this one. Let me copy this one and paste it over here. These two paragraphs are just for the sake of this thing I'm doing. I would have copy pasted the lorem ipsum text itself. I'll just click on again add story part. You'll get another text area, right? I'll just come here. Let me copy paste these two paragraphs. Let's check whether this works or not. So yeah, here when I click on the save story, we are getting an alert story save. So let's check this one. Basically, I'll just press F12. So yeah, here it is directly coming to application. So yes, log level error, this is saving. I'm giving error, right? Story save. So let me refresh this one. Yeah, story key we are getting, but the value we are not getting, right? Let's see what's wrong. So what I have done is, I have done one mistake in the line number 52. So here, this one, text hyphen area I have given. So this has to be only text area, right? So this is the one mistake that I have done. Except this, let's check. So have the stories with me. Let me copy this one. Let me paste it over here. So I'll just click on add story part. We'll get one more text area, right? So we can add any number of stories. Let me open this one. Let me copy this one, story 2. Just copy this one and paste it over here. So let me click again. I should be able to get one more text area, right? So let me add this one as well, story 3. So let me click on the save story. So I got an alert saying story save. Next, let's check the local storage. I'll just right click on inspect, click on this one. I'll just click on application, right? So let's go to local storage here, this one. Let's click on this one. I'll just clear the log level. Yeah, now we are getting the story, and here in the value part key, we are getting the story, and the value part, we are getting whatever story that we have typed inside the text area, right? Story 1, the last key, Emma frantically this thing, search for anything, like whatever we have given in the text area. Story 2, story 1, story 3, right? Everything is working properly, and we are able to store this one within the local storage as well, stories. Also, we are able to add the story part. So we can create any number of stories. So by making use of this one, by clicking on add story part button. Also, we can save all the stories using this button by clicking on this button. So everything is working properly. This is it. Thanks for watching, guys.